Elle est grave, abonnez-moi au secteur, à nos partis sur notre grand voyage, vous trouvez jet barge et un petit coup de grâce pour notre gumbo à soir. Capitaine, voyage ton flag, allons!
They've been living it up, eating mighty good corn, sprouting new feathers in the back of the barn. Now it's Mardi Gras Day, and the time has come. They gotta pay their dues. Them chickens better run. Them chickens better run. Them chickens better run.
And welcome to a special edition of Hannity and Combs. We're glad you're with us. I am Sean Hannity. Now, we are following a breaking story tonight. We have a lot in the news here and potentially a huge development on the campaign trail where an interview with the San Francisco Chronicle from earlier this year could sway last-minute voters across the Midwest. Now, in that interview, Senator Obama describes the cap-and-trade emissions policy that he was to enact as president and says it will bankrupt coal power plants.
What I've said is that we would put a cap-and-trade system in place that is as aggressive, if not more aggressive, than anybody else's out there. I was the first to call for 100% auction on the cap-and-trade system, which means that every unit of carbon or greenhouse gases was emitted would be charged to the polluter. That will create a market in which whatever technologies are out there that are being presented, whatever power plants that are being built, that they would have to meet the rigors of that market and the ratcheted down caps that are imposed every year. So if somebody wants to build a coal power plant, they can. It's just that it will bankrupt them because they're going to be charged a huge sum for all that greenhouse gas that's being emitted.
Now, there are thousands of coal workers in states like Ohio, Pennsylvania, Virginia, and West Virginia, but Obama doesn't stop there. Now, speaking to all Americans, he warns that under his administration, energy prices, get this, will, quote, skyrocket.
You know, when I was asked earlier about the issue of coal, you know, under my plan of a cap-and-trade system, electricity rates would necessarily skyrocket.
And joining us now tonight with more on this is former Democratic pollster Pat Goodell, columnist and best-selling author Ann Coulter. All right, Ann, we got it. By the way, the Obama camp is going nuts. They're absolutely lying and spinning. I've read the entire San Francisco Chronicle comments from beginning to end, and what they're saying about this is total fabrication. But he's saying, look, if someone wants to build a coal plant, they can build it, but we're going to bankrupt them because it has to be changed because of greenhouse gases. Under my plan, a cap-and-trade system, electricity rates will necessarily skyrocket.
Right.
The impact on blue-collar jobs, the middle class, the coal industry, electricity rates.
Right.
And, of course, it's been suppressed up until now.
Yeah, no, of course it has been. We have to wait for Sean Hannity to come on air to find out anything about the potential next president of the United States. If one of our enemies had said this, we're going to bankrupt, you know, reduce coal production in America, we could get a resolution from the UN. It would be a declaration of war. We're in the middle of an energy crisis. Half of our energy is supplied by coal, and he's saying we're going to bankrupt the coal companies. And lest anyone think that this is just a slip of the tongue, I don't know how it could possibly be a slip of the tongue, but this is the precise agenda. This is the plan.
These are his words.
But it is part of the environmentalist agenda. They have been saying this for years. It is part of what Al Gore has said and Kerry has said, and this guy believes it, and he could be in power soon. All
right, Pat, here's what we've got. We've got a guy that now has said that, you know, all right, rich is defined as 300,000, 250. Biden says 150, and then we had Governor Richardson say 120. He voted to raise taxes on people that make $42,000 last year. He breaks his pledge on issues like public financing. He still had a lot of money. Now he's promising Americans, number one, that blue-collar jobs, what industry is next? We're going to go after the steel industry if he decides he doesn't like what they're doing. Now he's saying to an industry, we will bankrupt you, even though he's guaranteeing electricity prices will skyrocket. How do you then make the case here for the middle class?
Sean, I'm on a satellite. Did he actually, I heard his voice. That was his voice saying those things?
Yeah, that was his voice, yes.
My God, I'll tell you what, my question is, where has this been? This is Sunday night before the election. Where has this been?
Well, let me give some credit, by the way.
This is, by the way,
Michelle Malkin, Hot Air had it. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just saying in the Midwest, this could be significant. I just think it's now very late. I'm saying you can knock me over with a feather, frankly. I mean, what I just heard him say would be devastating, but it's Sunday night. Well, I don't understand where the Republican research has been, where everybody's been on this.
Well, let me go to Ann about this, because this is important. We're talking about bankrupting the coal industry, and he's willing to do it. He's saying electricity is going to skyrocket. What about steel workers? What about auto workers? What about people in Ohio, Virginia, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Missouri? How is this going to impact middle class?
Not only their jobs, but paying for energy. We were already headed for an energy crisis. If I could just say one other thing quickly about this, just to give you something to appreciate everything Obama has said to us. He was running ads during the primary in coal states like West Virginia, Ohio, and Pennsylvania with a fake coal mine. Well, I don't know if he was fake, but an actor or a coal miner saying how Obama totally supports coal miners.
Actually, he does. Let me point something out to you. Actually, Pat, since you haven't heard the whole story, it seems there's a lot more to the story. For one thing, Cecil Roberts, president of the United Mine Workers, supports Obama. Secondly, Obama has been talking on and for the entire campaign about clean coal technology. He's not looking out to destroy the coal industry. Illinois is a coal-producing state. He's been promoting for well over a year investing in low-emissions coal plants. And even John McCain has said that we are going to have to change the way we do business and transition away from coal entirely. John McCain said that. So you want to blame John McCain for the same thing? Pat?
Sean, excuse me, Alan, I agree with you. I'm sorry, Alan, I'm sorry. I agree with you. That's what he's been saying, and I think that's a very effective program he has been talking about. What I'm just saying is, I just never heard this before. I mean, when you tell people electricity rates are going to skyrocket, I mean, I just heard his words say that. I mean, him say it. I'm going, ooh, that's not what you would want to have.
Well, that's because of the cap-and-trade program. By the way, John McCain has the same exact cap-and-trade program.
That's too complicated. What is simple
yes, he does.
What is simple is it'll bankrupt the coal industry, which has a lot of workers. And the second thing is skyrocketing electric prices. Well, it's not like people are not happy with
bankrupt the coal industry
happy with their gas
but that's
prices.
Not fair, because he's not looking to bankrupt the coal industry when he is talking about clean coal and developing clean coal. And by the way, in another part of that same interview,
I agree with you, Alan. But what did I just? I agree with you. But what did I just hear? I mean, that's what my problem is.
You heard one part of it. Another part, he also says that eliminating coal plants is an illusion. That's what he says in another part of the interview. He uses the phrase, it's an illusion that we're going to eliminate coal plants. He wants to transition to clean coal, but so does John McCain. And wouldn't that be a good thing to do for the environment?
We all do that, but I'm just saying, as a hack, as an old hack, I'm telling you, if I were running the Republican campaign, that would have been out a long time ago.
Why do you think it comes out now on the eve of the election? Why do you think
Sean Hannity is the only one reporting on this guy.
That is a good question.
Well, no, we knew nothing about Obama for the 12, 14, 18, 2 years.
Well, Michelle Malkin put it on her website. I got to give Michelle
nothing about Barack Obama for 2 years. Good job. Right? Nothing about the guy.
No, we know that he loves his children. We know what Malik and Sasha say and how they go trick-or-treating. But actual facts that would be useful to making a decision of whether he should be the leader of the free world.
Excuse me, aren't you? Forgive me.
I liked you better when you didn't have a voice.
I know you did.
That was so much fun.
By the way, Coulter walks in and says, I'm not going to be that nice to you tonight. Your voice is... Weren't you the person, to be non-gender specific, who said you were going to have to vote for McCain with a clothespin on your nose?
No, get drunk. And what we did.
I see. So
Look, I don't know why you find that interesting. No, McCain is far from my favorite choice as the Republican. This is how bad Obama is. Yes, I do think Hillary Clinton would be better than McCain. I do not think so with this guy. Okay, if you get your way, 4 years of us telling you we told you so, assuming you still have power running into this place.
Please, I want to point out, that's a very funny line, by the way. Congratulations.
That was good.
I just want to point out, look, we can work by candlelight if we have to. Don't worry. Both McCain and Obama would make electricity derived from fossil fuels more expensive because they're both committed to setting mandatory limits on greenhouse gases.
McCain used to say a lot of crazy stuff when he was talking to the New York Times, at least in the McCain administration. For one thing, he's learned a lot from Palin. He's taken her as vice presidential financial choice. She knows about energy. And when prices go up, Republicans will not be celebrating. Democrats celebrate because they're environmentalist wackos, and they want us to live like the Indians. They want, you know, Warren Buffett to live in his mansion while the rest of us live in huts.
They both have the same policy. I'd love to talk further, but I got to go hug a tree. So thanks for being with us.
Yeah, by the way, there'll be no electricity in there because you won't be able to afford it by the time Obama gets elected.
Come to you for.
And you would still go for cap and trade, even though you're talking about coal-fired plants?
Yes.